Dark Angel first in the house. That a girl, sister. Let's see. Here we go. I'll let the room fill up for a little bit. Oh yeah, in my happy place for the next 6 months. All right. As most of y'all folks should know, I spent 6 months out of the air out here in the woods. All right. I call this my outpost. All right. Got the coffee, got the dip, got the campfire. Got a nice starry sky up above. I don't see a cloud in it. Perfect night for a campfire. Huckleberry, welcome to the chat. What we got in here? We got 7 already in here. 2 minutes in. All right, guys, for you 7 folks that are in here, first off, thank you very much for joining the Mad broadcast for this week. All right. Little campfire talk. All right. Weather permitting, I'll be doing this every Monday night, seeing that I'm out here in the woods now. All right, for the next 6 months. So I'm gonna throw a little disclaimer out right now while we're getting started. All right. This broadcast tonight, folks, is not for the sensitive folks, okay? It's not for the weak-minded. It's not for the narrow-minded. It's not for you folks that may be easily offended, okay? We are going to get fucking real tonight, all right? So I am throwing that out here now, all right? So if this following show isn't going to be something that you think you can handle, you can bounce now. Feel free. And Mad Outdoorsman won't take it personally because the Mad Outdoorsman does not take anything personally. All right, I got thick skin. I can handle it. All right, so I'm putting that disclaimer out right now. This is going to be the brutal truth tonight. Okay? So, buckle up. All right, we're just hanging out, folks. So, sit back, grab yourself a drink, smoke them if you got them, and let's get this party started. All right, so you see the title of the live tonight is that American culture is collapsing. All right, and you know, usually for the most part, guys, when I prepare a video or when I go live, I usually research a topic and I get a bunch of articles together about share with everybody on the channel. You know, I try not to fly by the seat of my pants, if you want to call it that. All right, but tonight, Mad Outdoorsman's going to change it up a little bit. I'm I am going to fly by the seat of my pants. I didn't get any content or research any articles this week. All right. This is why I said at the top of the video here that if you are easily offended, or if you're narrow-minded or weak at heart, bounce now. All right, because we are going to get down to the brutal truth. All right. Yep, it's one of those days. So I would challenge you folks in the chat right now to think about where we're at right now as a nation, you know, and I'm talking from a cultural perspective, all right, versus where we were at, I don't know, let's say 50 years ago, 60 years ago, all right. Big difference, right? You know, a lot of things have changed. If I had to think about a particular time period that I would have wanted to live my life in this country, it certainly wouldn't be today. It wouldn't be in 2023, right? It's a fucking shit show out there. And it's not going to get any better anytime soon. Right? It's only going to get worse. And you have to ask yourself, guys, why is that? You know, what caused the collapse that we are seeing right now of our culture? You know, let me adjust the camera here. I am out in the woods. Where did it start? And who's behind it? You know, these are the questions that you have to ask yourself. You know, how did we get to where we're at today, where we cannot even identify ourselves anymore as a nation? You know, anybody want to take a stab at that? As I sip the coffee here and check out the fire. And my dog, he's running around here somewhere. He's up on the deck over there. My dog, Oscar. Not much of a... he is a people person, but he doesn't like to get on camera. Be as it may. It's been in the planning stage for over 60 years. Yeah, all right, that's a good point. Planning stage, all right? That is the operative word, Jim. And, you know, you can go to... and correct me if I'm wrong, but I think I'm gonna try to pick up what you're putting down here. Planning stage, it's exactly it. This is something that has been planned, okay, by a group of individuals, okay, and we know who they are. They are called globalist elites, okay, and they have this master plan, and we could go all the way back to when JFK was assassinated, right or wrong on that one. You know, I would say that's probably where it started, okay? In my opinion, all right? Maybe somebody out here knows otherwise, but yeah, this is definitely something that has been planned over a period of time. And we have a bunch of fucking dirtbags down in Washington, D.C. that we elect that obviously, I mean, this isn't news to anybody here, right? They don't have our best interests in mind, all right? Once they get elected, they are pretty much owned by these elites, right? These are the people that are throwing money, at their campaigns to get them reelected or elected, all right? And we're seeing that all the way down to district attorneys and cities inside of states, you know? And this is why we see pretty much we're on the brink of having a lawlessness society, right? Yeah, absolutely, City Prepper. They are gonna push hard, you know, and I'm gonna touch on that in a second as to why everybody hates Trump, right? You know, these elites and these fucking swampy fucking dirtbags down there in DC. So yeah, this is why we have the total upside down world that we are in now when it comes to rule of law in this country, just basically shit in the fucking bed. All right. Big news out of New York City, you know, and I think if any of you've seen it, please comment here. The subway incident with the Marine veteran, okay, that choked out the homeless man that was pretty much fucking acting like a maniac to all the commuters on the subway, threatening to kill them, threatening them with bodily harm. Okay. Now, if you dig up the history on this homeless gentleman, Mr. Neely, it's going to show you that he has a rap sheet a mile fucking long, right? Which includes assaults on elderly, multiple assaults, charges. There was even a charge that he kidnapped a 7-year-old or tried to kidnap a 7-year-old child. And there he is. He's fucking terrorizing people on the subway, and you have this Marine veteran that wants to be that good Samaritan, right? And steps up and does the right thing. And now he's getting fucking perp-whopped, you know, by a bunch of fucking cops that have no fucking nutsack, all right? And I can say that, all right, because I work in law enforcement. And I'll tell you what, what's right is right and what's wrong is wrong, all right? And if I'm given an order that I feel is against my own personal judgment and what I believe, I will face the consequences, all right? And you can ask anybody I know, all right? There's a lot of people on here that I work with that follow me, and they would attest to that. They're like, yep, Mad Outdoorsman, Officer so-and-so doesn't take any fucking shit, and that's exactly what he's about. He's not afraid to fucking speak up and tell it like it is. And that's just the way I'm wired, folks, all right? Call it my upbringing, call it the small town that I was brought up in, call it my old man, all right? That's just it, all right? I have a fucking chip on my shoulder, okay? And that chip on my shoulder is me not letting my old man down, or that fucking small town that I came from down, all right? That's the chip on my fucking shoulder, all right? And that's how I conduct myself every day, all right? I don't start any fucking shit, all right? I'm not a troublemaker, and I have the mentality that, you know, and I'll quote the famous John Wayne, who is my hero, all right? I won't be wronged. I won't be insulted. I won't be laid a hand upon. I don't do those things to others. I require the same from other people, from you. And that's just how I roll, guys, all right? And going back to where we're at as a country today, culturally speaking, I, for one, and I don't know if anybody here can attest to it, but I feel like I was born in the fucking wrong era, you know? I really do, because of the way I am, you know? And the way I was brought up and the morals and the values that I have. So when I see some fucking dirtbag on a subway or anywhere in society and he's fucking being a menace and he's terrorizing other people, I'm going to be that guy that steps up to take care of business, all right? And whatever happens, happens, you know? That's just how it is, you know? I got that sheepdog mentality, I guess, you know? And, you know, it might sound, guys, you know, it might sound like I'm sitting here tooting my own horn, and I'm really not. I'm just trying to demonstrate my values and my morals to everybody else. You know, I got nothing to fucking prove to you people, all right? I got nothing to prove to anybody, all right? But we're in a society where we are losing our values and we are losing our morals, okay? And it starts in our schools, all right, with the indoctrination that's going on in our schools. You can't say pledge allegiance to the fucking flag anymore. You can't do this. You can't pray in school. You can't do any of that stuff in school anymore. God forbid, right? I mean, I'm just speaking the truth here, right or wrong. Jim Shady, you're an ex-CO? Is that what I just saw? I got the phone here. I do not have the laptop out here in the woods, so these comments are showing up and they are disappearing after a couple seconds. Yeah, Jim Shady, I've been 15 years. All right. Welcome to the chat, brother. Yeah, I've been at it for 15 years. And just to touch on that for a second, the times have changed, Jim. All right, and I don't want to have a one-way conversation. I got 14 people here in the chat, but times have changed, Jim. From the time that I started till now, all right, that pendulum is starting to swing the other way. And it's these people that are coming in, and it's particularly the young kids that are coming into prison nowadays, they're products of their environment. They're products of the society that they live in. And they've got that entitled attitude where they feel that they're self-righteous, but they're actually fucking, menaces to society. So, and it's, I guess it's because maybe there's not fathers in the households or whatever, but they are just fucking cold-blooded killers, heartless, and it's like deer in the headlights when you're trying to get through to them, And I work in a male institution, and I call them kids. I'm 44 years old, and there's young men in there that are younger than my two kids. I got a 23-year-old and a 20-year-old, and I got an 18, 19, 20 coming in, and they are vicious motherfuckers, and they have it's a total disregard to reasoning. I don't want to say authority because, obviously mad outdoorsmen, they do disregard authority because they're in jail. But at least you can reason with some of these convicts, all right? These younger kids that are coming in nowadays, and it's because of the society, you can't, all right? And this is where we're at. And I see it. And I know you guys see it as well. And we are circling the fucking toilet bowl, okay, as a nation, okay? Going back to the elites, and, the comment that was made a few minutes ago. Kids coming in as officers are just as bad. Don't get me started, Jimmy. Because they lower the standards of hiring, because nobody wants the fucking job, right or wrong. All right, city prepper, I'm sorry you're picking up what I put down too. You're ex-police. Chicago PD, if I remember correctly, sir. God bless you. They call that Chirac, right? But anyway, going back to the elites and and this is why they hate Trump, right? And this is why they're doing everything, and we're seeing it. They are doing everything they can to destroy this man, okay? And what is happening is quite the opposite. And quite frankly, it's fucking comical, all right? Who watched the CNN debate the other night when he was on there? CNN thought they were going to fucking destroy Trump, all right? They thought they were going to, they thought that was going to be the fucking dagger, the final fucking dagger right there. And they were going to twist it, and they were going to that's it, Trump's done, all right? Total opposite, all right? And people are waking up to that. And listen, my opinion, all right, I might lose a couple subs off of this, but my opinion, there's a difference between Democrats and liberals, all right? There are some decent Democrats out there, all right? But when it comes to a fucking liberal, all right, those useless fucking idiots that have no common sense and you can't talk reason to them, and they just want to shout over you and shout you down and silence you, you can't reason with them motherfuckers, all right? But after that debate the other night on CNN, I did see, I'm on Twitter a lot, and I saw a lot of Dems speaking up about that really woke up, and admitted, like, hey, I was a lifelong Democrat, and now I'm voting for this guy. I'm voting for Trump now, you know? So it was good to see that. And, you know, it's like I said, it's funny because CNN, they really thought they were going to fucking destroy this guy by having him up there. And this fucking douchebag that did the town hall, that conducted it, you know, she was trying her damnedest, you know, to bring this guy down. And you can't go up against Trump like that. I mean, I don't know what the fuck they were thinking, but I loved it. You know, I mean, God, it was awesome. But yeah, people are waking up, right? They're starting to see what it is now, you know, and I'm talking about some Democrats, you know, again, liberals, they're useless idiots that you can't reason with them. They're fucking too far gone, all right? They're fucking commies, and they want to destroy this country. But yeah, that woke a lot of people up, and I was happy to see that. Sucks is that she will get her own show out of the deal. I don't know, Jim. I don't know about that one, brother. I think she's crawling back into her fucking hole, you know, and licking her wounds after that. I mean, if that's the best that CNN has to throw at them, then he just got the nomination, in my opinion. He just got the nomination. All right, hands down. I mean, I'm not gonna jump to conclusions. All right, politically speaking, you know, I mean, back in November, I thought that there was gonna be this big red wave. I was one of those guys. I thought that we were gonna win both the House and the Senate, and I was pretty much jumping ahead and calling it. But I learned my lesson from that. So I digress. But yeah, let's look at today, 2023 versus 50, 60 years ago, all right? The amount of laws, ordinances, rules, and regulations today versus 50, 60 years ago, all right? I saw somewhere that between all that, the laws, rules, regulations, and ordinances, there is 1 million plus. Okay? Chew on that for a second, folks. All right? 1 million laws, rules, regulations, and ordinances in this country. Okay? So ask yourselves, how fucking free are we? All right? And ask yourself this, is this possibly, I'm not saying the full reason, but is it possibly a big part of the reason why we're at where we're at today as a society? All right, I challenge you to chew on that. Think about that for a second. I'm going to throw a couple more logs on this fire. All right. I absolutely think it's that's part of the reason. All right. Because when you take if you look at it from that perspective, really, how free are we? I mean, how many crimes are we committing every day? The average person. You know, how many felonies are we committing every day without even knowing it? You know, I mean, probably 2 or 3 at least. You know, I mean, it's fucking nuts. We are no longer a live and let live society like we were back in the day. The powers that, yeah, Jim, I agree with you 100%. We are under the illusion, okay, that we are free, and it is a false illusion. And it took me a long time to wake up to that, you know, and I am glad that I am finally awake to that fact, you know, and I'm going to quote Native Voice here, okay? If anybody follows Native Voice, you'll know exactly what I mean by this. When he says black-pilled, okay, that's exactly what it is. You're awake to what's going on. in this world. You know the truth. Okay? You know that the powers to be are a bunch of fucking puppets, and our ruling class doesn't give two fucking shits about us. All right? And our ruling class are just puppets to those elites. All right? That's called being black-pilled, and I applaud Native Voice for that, because he's on point. Okay? And it took me a long time, half of my adult life, to really wake up to that fact. And I guess we can only hope that the rest of society will someday or somehow see that too and become black-pilled someday, And another interesting thing is the majority of Democrats, right? What age group are they? Right? They tend to be younger folks, right or wrong? 18 to 24 to, and then as you get older, you see the older folks are made up mostly of Republicans, all right? How many people here can admit that at one point in their life, when they were young, when they first registered to vote, they voted Democrat? Shit, I can, all right? When I registered to vote at 18, I voted Democrat, because I wasn't awake then. All right, I wasn't black-pilled, and now, thank God, I am. I know I voted for George Bush, twice. I didn't vote for fucking Obama. I voted for Trump twice. I'm gonna vote for him again because he's gonna probably gonna get the nomination. So I would say by the time I was 24, 25 years old, I started to see how it was, and that was after 9/11, so, and that's the thing, a lot of young voters vote Democrat, and they're just not awake yet. And when you have the schools and the universities pretty much promoting fucking hate speech and basically shitting all over the Constitution, this is the product that comes out, Okay. Dark Angel, Trump killed it with that town hall. Yeah, he sure did. He did. So there's that. So it's a combination of the million laws, rules, and regulations and ordinances that we live under. Okay. And I think that has bred the indoctrination in our schools. All right. And I think another big piece to that is the southern border. Okay. Our country is being invaded, folks. All right. There ain't no two ways about it. And you can't change my mind on it. Okay. Big news this past week was Title 42 ending. Thousands and thousands of migrants headed towards our border. Am I surprised that it turned out to be somewhat of a fucking nothing burger? Yeah, a little bit. But when I look at the big picture overall, since Ice Cream Man took office, I mean, look how many fucking tens of thousands of illegals that have crossed our border, okay? And what are those people? They are basically future Democrat voters, all right? And yeah, I said it. You can agree with me, you can disagree with me, but that's how I feel about it, all right? And I just don't get it, I look at the news, I'm watching the news, and I'm watching these migrants illegally enter our country, breaking our laws, waving the flags of the countries that they came from. So let me ask, if you're so fucking oppressed, okay, from where you came from, and you had to go to the point or the extremes where you had to escape that country where you're from, why would you come here waving your flag like you're proud? That fascinates me. I don't know if that intrigues anybody else here, but that fascinates me. I mean, if I'm escaping an oppressive country and I want to make my life better and I know that it's fucking dead end, I'm not gonna be waving the flag of that country that I came from. But that's just me. Okay? I don't know. But I'm gonna go to the comment section now and feed off of you guys now, all right? Because I think I've ranted and raved enough. But yeah, definitely a border invasion. The lawlessness in our society, and you put those together along with the indoctrination of schools, and this is where our culture is collapsing. This is where we no longer have identity, and it's playing right into the globalist elites agenda. Okay. And the thing is, folks, we have to start at home with our kids. Okay. And I'm talking about when they get home from school, it's almost like you have to debrief them and ask them what they learned in school, okay? What they were told. And what am I talking about? I'm talking about like history class, social studies class, you know. Did they teach you about the Constitution today? Did you learn about the Civil War? You know, stuff like that. Is there a certain 3-letter flag or a multicolored flag pinned up on a wall in your classroom? You know, does your teacher have blue fucking hair? You know, shit like that. You know, these are questions that you have to ask your kids. You didn't have to do that 50 or 60 years ago. I don't know how bad does it need to get? You know, I know I ask this question a lot. Participation trophies for everyone. Yep. That's a good point. Participation trophies. The generation of participation trophies. That just adds to the societal collapse that we're seeing right now, right or wrong, guys. You know, where everybody is a winner. You know, how about when life kicks you in the fucking ass and you can't afford your grocery bill, or you got to pick between your food and putting gas in your truck? You know, you're not winning there, are you? You know, you're not gonna get a handout like you did as you were growing up. You know, and it's almost like our youth are being set up for failure, and when they are used to being part of that gimme crowd, all right, that gimme crowd, and I'm entitled to this and I'm entitled to that. Going back to what I said earlier about these kids coming to jail and how they feel that they're entitled. When it comes to facing life challenges, this is why you see people marching in the streets and protesting, because they want shit to be handed to them. They feel that it's their right to go out and fucking loot businesses and burn cities to the ground. Okay? Because they're mad, you know, because they didn't get this or they didn't get that. All right? It's not about oppression. Okay? I'm sorry to fucking burst the bubble here, but it is not about oppression. Okay? This is about fucking entitlement, and it's just a goddamn excuse to go out and fucking do what they do. All right? So let's switch gears. Shall we? Let's switch gears, folks. What's gonna happen when the fucking bombs start exploding over our head? All right? Well, Jesus Christ, Matt Outdoorsman. Whoa, relax. What are you talking about? All right? You sound like the Canadian prep. Excuse me. No. Folks, our enemies, we are the last. All right, let me back this up a little bit. Let me walk it back. I can sit here and bitch and moan about the direction our country is going in, okay? But on a bigger scale, on a global scale, okay, even though we have people laughing at us and they're watching our president fucking sniff kids and trip up a flight of stairs and can't find his way, you know, off of a fucking podium and this, that, and the other thing, and stumbles his words. Even though they see all that going on, we are the last bastion of hope and democracy in this world. Right or wrong, all right? We are still the greatest nation on earth, in my opinion, okay? I will say that, and I firmly believe that, okay? So when I say when the bombs start exploding over our heads, you know, anybody that watched my broadcast last week, I talked about how we could be facing a multi-front war against some major nations and superpowers. You know, I mentioned Russia, I mentioned China, Iran, North Korea. Okay, we got these spy balloons that been coming over. Okay, you got China that is very, very advanced on their EMP technology. Okay, and that's what I mean about the bombs exploding over our heads. Okay, and you know, I really firmly believe and adamantly feel that we are on that brink, okay, of a total SHTF break bad event, okay? And I really believe I'm gonna see it in my lifetime, and unfortunately, my children and my grandkids are gonna see that, you know, as long as, and I'm sure there's some folks here that can attest to that. So when you look at people that are throwing fucking fits and burning cities and looting and this, that, and the other thing over, you know, some fucking thug that, you know, got killed on a fucking train or a fucking whatever, okay? Or something didn't go their way. How do you think they're gonna be when there's no power, all right? And there's absolutely no rule of law, you know? All right, so if the Mad Outdoorsman would give anybody any advice like that's new to prepping, the first thing I would tell them is have a place to fucking go. Okay? Have a place to escape to. And if you're able to buy a piece of land, do it. Okay? Get away from the cities. Get away from the suburban areas, the thickly settled areas, and have that piece of land that you can go to. Okay, that's away from the masses. Okay? And start prepping. All right? You'll see some channels, and I know I've seen some YouTubers that'll come on and say, well, if you haven't started prepping now, it's too fucking late. Well, I call fucking bullshit on that. All right? It's never too late to start prepping. All right? So if you're new in this game of prepping, and I don't want to call it a game, but it's lack of better words. You're not too late to the party, okay? Start off little by little, all right? You know, when you do your weekly grocery shopping, you know, when you got that grocery list made out, I know the Mad Outdoors makes a grocery list. I have to have a list. And this is what I do. I'm telling you what I do. When I make my grocery list, I'll get the staples that I need for the house. And then I'll add other items on that list and I'll put preps in parentheses, you know? And even if it's like $5 or $10, you know, worth of canned goods or dry foods like rice and beans, I always, a case of water, or I usually buy water by the gallon jugs. I always include preps in my grocery list every week. You know, it's never too late to start prepping, and that's just my opinion. You know, some of you folks might disagree with that, and I respect that. That's fine. All right. But I'm telling you right now, when a bomb start going off over our heads, the EMP goes off. You're gonna be thankful that you have those preps. You're gonna be thankful that you have that piece of land to get away to. Okay. Most of you folks know that I live in the city. All right, half of the year, okay? I'm thankful that I have this piece of land to come to, okay? I'm staring at, right now, off camera, I'm staring at 5,000 acres of raw forest, 3 feet away from me right now, okay? That I can take off into if I have to, okay? You know, I'm not gonna upset myself too much, but what I got behind me, I got everything I need up here, okay? From gas to food, you know, preps, and amongst other things, okay? And it makes me sleep better at night that I have this. You know, that I have this option. And so that would be my advice for anybody that's new in it. Have a place to go to, okay? Have that piece of land to go to. And it doesn't have to be your own. It could be a national forest or a state property or a little piece of land that abuts state property that just has thousands of acres or whatever. If you can live off the land, or you have that option to do it, then go for it, all right? Practice your bushcrafting skills. You know, learn how to tie knots. Learn how to construct shelters, you know? Learn how to start fires. You know, I mean, don't talk about it, be about it, okay? You folks that watch me out doing my camping videos during the wintertime, you know, I put myself in those situations, those survival situations on purpose, all right? I'm not doing that to relax and to enjoy myself. I'm doing that because I'm fucking training, you know? So train your mind and your body for what's to come. Because if you can have all the preps in the world, but if you're not mentally prepared for it, then it's worthless. And that's just my opinion on it. What do you all think about that? Come here, boy. Yeah, the day's coming. You know, it's just, if you live in a city, get out. If you live in a thickly settled area, get out. Definitely got to have a plan or 6. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. You know? Does anybody here live in a city or suburban areas? Do you think about that? Do you think about what your neighbors are like? Do your neighbors know that you're a prepper? You know, do you think that's a good idea that they do? It's these are things that you have to consider and think about, folks, right? You know, and I know we talked a lot, we bounced around a lot tonight, and we started off with cultural collapse of America, which I do believe is happening. 13 acres property. I'm just seeing that comment now. I'm moving from the country to the city. Okay. Is that something for your job? Is that why you're doing that, or is that just your personal choice, or if you don't mind me asking? Well, thank you, Dark Angel. It had to be said. We'll see how long Fruit Tube keeps it up here. You know, because, you know, they hate truth tellers. And they hate real talk. For your kids. Okay. Well, have a plan. And, you know, if you being a part of this chat, obviously you are like-minded like we are. And this is stuff that crosses your mind. Not too excited about it. Miss Sharon. Yeah. Yeah, actually, this town that my camp is in, it's definitely the textbook definition of small town America. It's one main street, lined with mom and pop shops. There are no big retailers or big businesses. It's got a one church town, small police department, and I'm probably about 6 miles from the center of that town. You know, outside of that, it's forest, it's scattered homes, farms are out here. I love it out here. You know, I'm glad I have it. A $1 general town. Yeah, Lori, you know what? I actually made a video about, you said that you're not too far from the forest where you're moving to the city. That's what Lori just said. So I made a video a little while back about bugging out of the city and the utilization of hiking trails and old rail beds, okay? And there are a lot of old rail beds that run through cities, okay? And if you look it up on, you know, if you Google it, you know, in your area, you can pick up a rail bed that will take you right out of the city. And I thought that was quite interesting, and I did some research on it, so I wanted to make a video about it. So if you go back, if you haven't watched it, I made it a couple months ago. I actually talked about it. I was on Casey Little Owl had me up on her panel one day, and we were talking about that. A lot of maps. So yes, they do. There's thousands of miles of old rail beds that run throughout this nation, you know, and a lot of them run through cities. You know, the city I live in has one, you know, so that's where I'll go. And it's literally like driving distance, it's like 10 minutes. So yeah, check it out. I would implore you to check that out. So wherever you're moving to, I can almost guarantee you that there's an old rail bed that you can pick up if you had to get out on a DL. Casey Little Owl, hey, there you are. Casey, I planted my potatoes today. If it was light out, I'd show you. But I got a raised bed over on the other side of the deck. I planted some seeded potatoes. I did YouTube. I checked out some YouTube videos on it to see. There was like 150 different fucking types of videos out there. So I just did it my way. But yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I said I was gonna do it. I said I was gonna plant potatoes. I'm a man of my word. I did it. So we got 5 potatoes up about 4 inches. This is my first time. I've never done it. Dig a hole, put it in there, fill it up, and water it. I did potato towels this year and loving the results. Casey, I gotta check you out on your Sunday chat. I haven't been, you know, and this goes for everybody. You know, I haven't really Backwoods, Prepper Nation, Casey Littlewell, all great channels. Hopefully everybody here is subscribed to all those channels. I've been involved in all 3 of them. I've been up on their panels, and I'm very fortunate for that, to have that support. So go check them out. Casey Littlewell, Prepper Nation, Backwoods, all great content creators, and they have tons of useful information and a plethora of knowledge. But yeah, I've been so freaking busy. My schedule, my work schedule is hectic right now. I haven't been able to get on in the mornings to catch Nations broadcasts. I just opened up camp these past couple weeks, and before that, I haven't been able to. My Sundays have been busy because I got Sunday, Mondays off, so I haven't been able to catch Casey's Sunday lives. But things are going to be settling down. Camp's open now. Everything's set up, so I'm going to be checking you out, Casey. You believe that, sister? Yeah, I'm down for it, Jimmy. Lady Smith, how you doing? Good to see you. Where we at? We're at 52 minutes. All right, I'll bring it up to an hour, and I'm able to watch many of my channels. I like excited about your Monday Night Lives. Thank you, I appreciate it. Yeah, I'll get back into the swing of things. Casey, I'll get back into it. Things are slowing down a little bit now. Work schedule's a little bit, it's starting to slow down. And like I said, I'm pretty much situated up here at camp, so my Sundays I'll be around for your 3:30 lives. I'm just reading the comments. Jim Shady, what's the name of your channel, bud? So I can go and subscribe to you. I'd actually like to pick your brain on some other stuff. I seen that you're an ex-CO. I'm sure there's yeah, I'd like to get together with you there, brother. The Shady Zone. All right, I'll check it out. I'll go find you as soon as I get off air. Mamas never clock out. Oh, and happy belated Mother's Day to all you mothers out there, by the way. I hope you got nice and pampered yesterday by your significant others and got breakfast served in bed and all that fun stuff, you know, foot massages. Well, this is a good conversation tonight, guys. I'm glad that y'all joined me at the Shady Zone. Thank you, Miss Sharon. My old lady got new pants, so she better be on now. Attaboy, City Prepper. Is she on here? Is that why you said that? She's sitting next to you, City. I'm just fucking with you. All right, folks, listen, I'm gonna wrap. All right. Next Monday night, 9 p.m. Be here, be square. Like I said, weather permitting, we'll have another fire going, more coffee, and we'll kick back. We'll talk about whatever's going on, whatever break bad SHTF shit that's happening. We'll talk about how the ice cream man, what he's coming up with, ways to kill us fucking next week, you know. Yeah, I appreciate that, Casey. Yeah, if you don't mind, hit that thumbs up button on the way out. I appreciate that. Perhaps share this video out, all that fun stuff. All right, folks. Thank you for joining. And you all have a good night. Thanks for watching.